Okay, day 3, last day of these contour drawings. Now, contour lines are something you're always going to use forever and ever. But it's the last day of these really painful 20 minutes of just drawing your hand. Hands are one of the more difficult things to draw. There's a lot of little moving parts and stuff like that, so it's always good to practice them. Same with faces. It's just one of those things that takes a long time to get a handle on. So the more you practice it, the more you do these kind of warm-ups with your hand, the more comfortable you get at drawing things like hands, the more complicated stuff. All right. So first day, continuous line drawing. Second day, blind contour. It's continuous line plus not being able to look at it. Today we're taking away both those stipulations, both those rules. That means today you can look at your paper. Today you can pick up the pencil. But hopefully, fingers crossed, 2 days of doing this has broken down some of those bad habits, has made it so you draw a little more fluidly, that you make a little more continuous of a line, that you're a little more confident in those lines. Now, normally in a college course, we would do this for a solid week. We do it for a lot longer than 20 minutes, and it would really reinforce those ideas. So again, your 10 minutes a day in your sketchbook, doing more is always going to be more helpful. Practice these things out. Do once a week, just kind of try some of this continuous line stuff, some of these observational ideas. They all help. The more you practice them, the more they help. So real quick, let's see what the difference between these kinds of lines are. So normally when you draw a tree, or a little kid would draw a tree, they do these all right, this is the branches and the leaves, and this is the stalk and the hole and the texture. Does it look like a tree? Sure. But it's a little stiff, a little flat. What I'd rather see, and what the artistic world community would like to see, is something more expressive that shows how you as an artist feel when you're drawing it. So drawing your tree like this might be less accurate, but you get a feeling from it. That's what abstract art is all about. It's more about how it's drawn than what you're drawing. You can see more of how the artist is feeling at this moment, the energy of it, the passion of it. Even though it's not as high a quality as drawing, we can see the person's emotions in it. And that's a lot of what art is supposed to be, is making an emotional connection with your audience. So keep that in mind when you start doing your observational drawing today. So it's just a regular contour drawing is how we describe this. You're looking at the hand, and you're drawing what you see. Again, don't draw what you think a hand looks like. I'm just going to draw this hand that I've always drawn. I want you really looking at this and drawing what you see. So it almost helps to not think of it as a hand. Just think of it as what this object you're drawing. Things you can do while you're observational drawing. You draw one thing. Let's say we start at this finger up here. You can see, even though I'm allowed to pick it up now, I'm still not picking it up that much. I'm just kind of following these contours and these shapes. And again, it helps build that idea of form. One of the best things to do from here is start thinking of what we call the negative space. That's the space in between stuff. So you got that pointer finger, and then you got the middle finger in here. How do I know that that's a correct distance between the two? Look at this space here and try and observe what that shape looks like. Just sort of, okay, it's like a V, there's a flat part at the bottom, there's a lump in those knuckles, and they come up there like that. That's just helping me define that space in between, so I know that I have the proportions right, so I know they're lining up correctly. You could start doing stuff where the meat folds. You could do the texture of fingerprints in there. This backside, the knuckles got a little bit of a fold in it. You come back, really accentuate where the shadows are. And that's how you start doing an observational drawing. That's how you start drawing from reality. Is you're just looking at where this hand is, and you're looking at where those lines are, and you're just kind of all right, it goes around the finger. Follow the shape of the object. Compare things to each other. Is this finger, how much taller is that one? Well, the top of this one kind of lands right in the middle there. So I got to shorten this one up a little bit so it lands on the right spot of that finger. Okay? So another 20 minutes. I would recommend with this one doing 20 minutes on one drawing, really getting into the detail and stuff. But if that drawing's not going well, you want to change hand position, try something else, feel free. It's just another 20 minutes of drawing, except this time you can pick up the pencil. This time you can look at the paper. You're just really trying to focus on these ideas of fluid lines, confident marks. Let your emotion, let the energy you have show through on the paper, okay? So go ahead and get to work. Another 20 minutes. Have a good day, guys.